go more. So.
Oh, that's where there.
That was
so.
It's interesting to be able to signature.
Our signature. We
on the left. Hashtag Ear Biscuits is how you continue a conversation with us. Yeah.
Legitimately the only intelligent life in the entire universe.
Get out of our own way.
The money that seems massage though. I mean, is there such a thing? My Apple CarPlay situation. I get in my car and it thinks that I'm growing up. Like you, I'd probably be like a little cringe factor. But
so you don't remember that being
a
topic?
Our names in a tree on NC State's campus, which at that point the car. Let me explain what. If I don't want the air on me at that particular moment, just
Well, we have a little bit more flex.
Sounds
like a ring racist.
Okay. Well, you can do pink noise. Back in like.
I mean, it's got to be with consent. But
usually it's not memories that we had there. One was taken or two. I think it was a lake near NC State. Like
body, you can use the good mythical.
Anyway, I found out that she was a senior in high school, and I was like,
I'm great with those, so I'm sure I can come up with one.
Yeah.
But I've brought this up because I never had. I need them. Like my
ended with, "Will you marry me?" And
when did Zoo? I didn't want to leave any brochure out. I would feel guilty. And hijinks, growth,
which gives me a little bit of pleasure. I was like,
drag it out, man.
I needed to get a ring, so my ring store.
Christie Massage, even there's a sheet, and they know what to do with the sheet. And it's
keep it on you, hopefully.
Okay.
Be there at 7 p.m. and he wasn't there until 10 p.m. Like it was that kind of thing. Like slept with a fan. She also sleeps with my dad. I have a not so. Yep. A lot of times I'm like, Jesse, Shepard is yelling for you. I'm gonna be the guy with the sunglasses and the full size.
Talking about zoos, and
they're controversial.
That's the last, and I really don't feel good about myself if I only go twice.
You're flirting with the splurge?
I've started splurging on more.
How many's Alligator World?
I believe I'm waking up before my alarm.
Ooh,
like I think this is becoming my talent. Like whenever I set pretty cute, I think he was in the bushes watching
off on my side
of
the bed. It's like, but any little cupbearer, it's not a hobby. You can take everything I say.
Jesse, this thing looks like it's breathing.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You're holding it too close to the mic. It's
words that are coming out of our mouth because that would just make life simpler. And turn that on.
Oh, you got it covered.
But remove the blindfold. And when she did, I was down on.
Okay,
was while sitting, a very clear thing that it wasn't have his contact info.
That would have been cool, man.
Account.
The other thing I was gonna say,
95 years old.
Helen, yes.
She you went to the gym? I went to the gym.
Oh, thank you for.
I was like, I want to take
mythical summer towel.
Anything else?
Right.
Put all the animals in zoos.
On it because I put more but it's very.
Did you put that one above Alligator World?
And it was not in that stack.
In the Book of Mythicality, when the aliens show up, if they're not as smart in our ears, and so it was a way to, I guess they call it, because I think it feels good for them. I think it's cathartic for them to get their thoughts out. And
the giraffe swung his head around, hit him, and killed him.
Since that proposal,
18 years.
The fan's not in the bed. The fan is elsewhere. But I remember going in there. It was like freaking
sand barrier, or if you're laying out by a pool and you don't want to. And trips on the interstate, and we'd always stop at.
Oh wow! So it's the absence of white noise.
Oh no, I didn't just move over to we have a couch in our bedroom because that's how we roll.
Be on a cruise.
No.
In the middle of the night. We live pretty close to each other, so I looked out. Okay.
That's crazy.
Another question.
Before my alarm clock, I'll go back to sleep.
Did not know this was happening now.
Mm.
But then she started night alarm. My phone goes off.
It's just emotionally because I've set this stain. So what I'm saying is, yeah, you've
have quite the same. This is before 50 Shades of Grey, We weren't familiar with that.
I'm still not.
I was like, I'm gonna ask this girl to marry me. I don't care if she's still in college. I don't care. Usually it's just like, oh, I'm being massaged.
Yeah, but those weird tolerate all of our efforts.
Don't mind the spending
today, right now. Or start to. I'm not gonna get up at all.
Here, until you laughed, until you said the thing that made me laugh. You gotta be more careful.
No, I I was but it's so strange. I just have to.
Yes. Like speaking to someone in the middle of a combat of this.
You're basically
skyscraper. P.S. Not the end. No. And innocent tech.
I think that's where we'll end this thing. Oh, we'll begin the.
now the annual. Manuel.
Sure. They had a brochure that was as good as Disney's brochure. To be able to make those connections.
Trash.
Did you keep the pot that was in? But the
conversation went well. Everyone knew.
Stay out of it. He ain't masseusing you. It won't matter.
But what if I'm the one getting the massage and you're
like it's the head at its farthest point is the closest you could get to tunes.
It's actually bored me. You know, if I could go back to like what we actually talked about, you have to be folding because a lot of the ones now are just one panel.
Yeah, visiting the places, and then I would rank them. I've been painting all day. I'm gonna tell you what it was like.
No, it's not.
And
just want to stir the pot a little bit.
You've made people upset by saying that. This is a moment of stress. My splurge.
And so I basically made up my mind that I was like, okay, well, I can't date this girl. She's in high school. Clear that I was only.
But undermining your.
And they're gonna be like, what is Rhett doing now?
Wait, why is he wearing?
Is he doing the sunglass thing now?
I think.
And all the.
It's like
up when my weirdest one was probably bonsai. It didn't last very long. So I'm talking to Gaga and then she's like, "Oh, you need a ring, hold on, Jim."
What time did you get up?
5:45.
I got up at.
Begins navigating to your massage. Sooner or later, I'm going to show up and get in. Come anyone in the world ring that I didn't pay for.
Kiko, you're going. Welcome to Ear Biscuits.
The only people in the entire universe, which would be mind blowing, or
regular massages. I think
that the fragile responsibility.
That's stupid. Why would you do that? Then I'm gonna.
Now we're here, and do you remember the things that happened here?
Pretty kinky.
Yeah, blindfolds didn't.
Introspective level of splurge.
Anything. North Carolina. Waiting for Jesse to meet a locksmith. So she needed that to go to sleep. I need it because I'm such a light sleeper. Like I literally will dad out to dinner and ask for his permission. Yes, this is a very traditional. This is what the people want.
That's a Twitter moment.
I know. Yeah.
Something go wrong.
It didn't. She's take the blindfold off and be. Oh, and now
for a left turn or some sort of foible. The only thing I would change is it was go to the gym. Your 4 life forms in existence off of our
those questions.
Oh yeah, I love it when you guys give us
working with this bam giant diamond. You got to go to like Joann's to really, you got to spend carry and then and everything that I see.
It's not a weird hobby. I mean it for the summer, and then when she came back, I popped the question.
Right. So, but as I'm telling God,
but you were in college. You were a sophomore. Right? Don't think about like a water. Sincerely saying we can learn from it. I'm trying to do a little PR here.
Okay.
I'm spent.
Really good for like stress relief and balance, and a lot of people who are already like into like yoga and Pilates. Like no one said that. I don't know if I would have listened, but no one even said that. I just put those two things together. It's like sine and cosine.
They just like get sucked into.
I mean that if you wake up early, you go and sit on the couch and wait until the allotted time to get ready.
I've done that before. Yeah. Of various
immediate. Or do you mean that they just come to the office or wherever you're at?
Well, I mean, try.
Like, I'd like to paint. I'd like to paint. I wonder what painting. I guarantee you it was kind of like half. It wasn't in full sunlight. I think maybe it should have been in full sunlight.
You can keep the brochures, but I call Randler on the right temple. It's got that. Did the locksmith? I want to go deep with the locksmith.
He's like a waste of time to some people. And try. If you want us to tell you when we're recording, because no, don't tell us that. What? I was gonna get like a third of a carrot. I was gonna get such a
tonight. LA though, I'm not gonna dog it. I mean, we have.
I'm a super light anything or become in amount of care increase
on social. This is made ultimately for audio, and no one's gonna be
what's
thrown
gonna
off.
happen is they like here at Mythical
because all of the runoff from the Los Angeles streets and whatnot. I wear my sunglasses over my normal glasses like this.
You're gonna have to describe this.
I've never massaged your back. There's some people who are like
maybe for a video.
They'll come up by. I don't like massaging that I am flirting with. Right.
Okay.
Maybe I had a beautiful me around just giving me a massage in increments throughout the day.
Can't you over-mention weight?
I only did it with JD. Walk in Austin, Texas.
Oh yeah.
That you were
telling her whole family.
They should be masseuses. And then if they're on the payroll for that, then okay, it's all.
Do aliens exist and describe?
So it's in there now, boy. It's feeling like this.
Right.
Like you're the one trying to be funny. I'm just trying to keep us out of hot
not,
water.
I am not.
To think, if I found that person and I hired them to like run away when mom moved out of the house, the vibe.
Make me think differently about with the amount of impact that we can have on Earth and that we are having on Earth right now on the bench. And then I said, okay. But also my mom has always had a ring. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We have a personal locksmith. We don't have a personal masseuse in my house. We have a personal locksmith. We have.
You guys make a love connection, and he's kind of like, I don't want to ruin. I don't. And connect. And get it ball field, not the
on this bench.
He might have
hoping
been,
he never shows up. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about you wanting to go get a massage, and
these brochures like three.
I mean, those guys have done just about every.
Well, it's on a rhythm. It is a pendulum.
I couldn't sleep.
The level of that value is question. Minutes I could drink a coffee.
Alien information, like. That's what I want to know.
It would be nice. And you were like,
in the next June. So,
I mean, there were, like I had 5 or 6 different Disney World brochures because they had some.
Story is a little different than yours. I knew that I should probably have a ring when I asked her. Say yes, because she was
smarter than you. A little bit more of the, yeah, it's a man. I'm just.
Do you have an opinion? Are you a George Costanza? It wasn't one of these things where
surprised.
Like
there was no leak from her grandma with the ring or her family from permission, and then going to the gym. 3 or my goal is.
Yeah, bad. It's like a plague. Air conditioner.
I'm not saying that. Well, the only way that I would actually improve, it's such a sweet, incentive.
I'm always thinking about things I want to try,
and then it's got our
together.
Yeah. I know that.
It was a surprise.
So, but I'm trying to get away from that. And I'm trying to eradicate zoos too. By the way, basically get sore every week. I don't know
what keeps me going.
I love everyone. I love you, and I
will kind of naturally move into it.
No. Okay. I recognize your name.
And so I am very often early.
I didn't. See? I didn't. I got up.
You waited until the allotted time.
Right.
This is a cat purring. I hate that sound.
Put it up to the mic.
It says, brainstorm. How would you get a draft at the top of a 40-plus story sky? We cut down these things, so there's gonna be just an isolated story of me telling my...
That's the worst amount of time to wake up before your alarm and not get
them on. But whenever they move into a new environment, they destroy everything.
Terrestrials. Behind you and like massage your back?
Yeah, I'm not into that. And especially nowadays.
Both. It doesn't matter to me. It's showing up to the gym way early and then there's like.
Or the impossible. What would it be in?
Man, by the way.
No.
Because they
weren't.
Don't worry, just see what happens. Nice to know, but think about how disappointing it would be if the complete.
Oh, I locked my keys in my car last night up at the Macaroni Grilling point. Oh, we didn't eat at the Macaroni Grill. We just used.
I'll tell you.
I mean, we got engineering degrees every once in a while. I like. Thanks, Mary. No, because I already think that what we have on this earth, Lake Johnson or something. I can't.
Panel. It would be like a bifold or a trifold or more.
Come like veal. A series of locations that have been special.
Vibe from this year biscuit.
Don't tell them. See if they can figure it out.
Like steakhouse. Like there was.
The plan was
call the
shout out on Instagram, Rhett MC. If you follow me there, you know that you gotta like go to.
You put it. So what did you do wrong? You put it outside, or in the direct cycle to use that?
Probably.
Podcast. We should put the easy letdown music.
How crazy is this one? I don't think it's proportional.
Now, remove the blindfold. Okay. How did it go?
Well, I didn't say it. But even after that,
did you go in? Did you go in at that point, or did the locksmith show up at that and away from
go back to sleep, but it's not gonna be good sleep.
That's what happened to me this morning.
Because now I'm thinking about, I'm gonna get into this.
No, you put it in the landscape bin.
Yeah, I did. I just didn't want to say that.
I have to get up mindless. All right, it sounds like there's a baseball card stuck in the.
It could have been. It could have been
setting or like a helicopter, like your mom.
I've used it quite. I've.
You mix it up. I'm sorry. I just come out and said it.
We're recording this in the morning, and we've never done that. This is a more
Face and plus.
No, I don't do it every morning, but I have two snoozes
but
to
what
use.
about
Throwing a friend in the.
Even a step further is just having that person on staff, not entertainment, but fast.
And it's not trying to be funny. That is never my intention.
I'm just saying, there's nothing weird about it, and I'm completely naked. But
I'm Zoe Sutton. What is the strangest hobby you've ever had?
Ever.
Now, and on our own civilization, and now
Yeah.
it's going to be pushed. That's what I wanted, but it wasn't.
Get to or communicate with, so that
Name of the game, and they know it at that gym. I used to go to your gym until I got injured. So
you would have a different animal on the cover, tastefully shot, asleep. I mean, that's
because it seems so disrespectful.
boom,
He's
just
like,
landed. Obviously, you cut it with a knife. Well, you can cut things with a knife, but if you could cut something with your finger, then it must be making it public.
Yeah, I'm making my $150 to get.
It's just a weird instinct from some people.
There are certain people who are massagers,
and
it won't help anyway because I don't remember the name of it. But it's this little octagon for that. If that. To hear this ear biscuit.
Your point, and then the box was probably
the B.
Yeah, I snooze. I'm not that one.
I had only talked to her one time. So what'd you do when you went to those things that had like 60 of them? You got one of every?
Things coming to a close, but
appear off of the face of the earth.
Try to subscribe.
Thanks for being your mythical best. Who is like, I've got all the equipment. Here it is. I've done a little research.
People that I know, or being massaged by people I know.
Coming too tender.
So what's your splurge?
First of all, I am a splurge.
Where I give my proposal story, which has its ethical summer merch. You gotta protect your eyes.
Open areas. Here I'm talking to somebody else and they're like, yeah, she's a senior in high school. I'm like, oh no.
At any point, but I only get to ask one question. Is that what it is? If I were a splurgy type of person, I'd hire a maid once a month.
And it was like and saw all the other houses were dark too. So anyway, when the wife, she just finished her freshman year in college. I love her and I want to spend the rest of my life with her.
You're wrong, but go ahead.
5-minute car ride, painting.
Wasn't following the rules. That's what the police said, that the giraffe would not be.
I'm like,
you look like a.
Wouldn't you hang out with me?
You look like a professional poker player.
And so.
Your personal life. My personal wife.
Now that you presented me with a challenge. I don't know. The fact that I'm ignorant about it is the reason that I have a dead tree. And I was like, is that a yes? And I said that I was gonna wear sunglasses this whole time. It was in a
and there's some
plays at a very significant volume.
Sounds racist.
And that fan so loud, you could hear it when they turn it on. And
well, the truth is, they're
where it should be.
Yeah,
I went to the.
We would just like to ask. You can track. What you're saying is this is the beginning of your relationship.
Morning ear biscuit, which seems appropriate considering that it's. Hey, Jay, I think.
Yeah, that's boring.
I think Jay was loud. Well, Rhett, why don't you take her up there? Why don't you drive her up?
Aliens.
Yeah, so to be able to be like, well, actually, you're the
there's something that I've started.
Splurgy person.
Yeah.
Splurgy could be my middle name.
In terms of my favorite places.
Favorite places or favorite brochure?
Favorite place.
Unless you take like the,
We have a wave pool too. It's called the Pacific Ocean.
Yep. I already know. She was not getting nauseous.
But she still could have heard. She hadn't heard.
And she was like, on this podcast.
At face value.
It's all literal and it's never being sarcastic.
Making tunnels.
Seems boring.
Expensive.
There was actually a special date out there. Anyway, I can't remember.
This morning.
As well.
Seriously, what's pink noise?
I'm not really. Both in a place in life where it's just inevitable that you're going to ask the question.
She was
at
this party. I'd love to have to experience that.
I think it would make me even more.
That's a lot of pressure.
It'd be like, hold on, guys, no.
Story. Nothing went wrong. I was looking for zoo that I've been to, and it may be the last zoo I ever go to.
The people at your gym have designed the workouts to continue to confuse your muscles because she had locked her keys in her car the night before. And
not with you.
a full-size beach towel as part of their get-up.
Sure, at some point I've talked about this grade school hobby of mine. It's like a cat purring in the foreground, but someone with a weed whacker in the background.
I wake up, it'll be 5:25, and I am never trying to be funny.
The sunglasses, again, aren't helping. I can't read your...
This is the best I can get on this app, because it was free. So I listened to this all night. Not you, but you.
No one's upset.
No, some people are.
Nobody's... I think that I want you to love me, and don't...
What I ended up doing is having this conversation to get up at 5:30. I think it's just luck. And if that's by a lion.
They're just gonna have Teresa?
Mm-hmm. And then
That's just mean you get kind of nauseous with a blindfold on.
She doesn't. You should.
You test the waters for you. Like, welcome home. It's working fine for me.
You had just gotten married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I gotta be married too.
Cowboy piss.
Yeah. A mix of those two things. But you should.
Is this a team building exercise?
Absolutely hate zoos to just make a bunch of comments. Restaurant in Africa.
Swing that head at the end of that neck around.
There's a
messy. It's like I love the fact that like
we have like 2 locksmiths on.
Well, I have.
But
it would be so ridiculous. I know it sounds ridiculous having somebody, because I am not the type of person.
It feels good, but if I wake up a half hour, I'm like, oh man, now I've got that weird thing that's gonna happen.
And they're on top of a skyscraper. I mean, that's quite a treat. It was in such a way that like it couldn't have swung its head and killed us. And I have this conversation happening, fresh off. I think it's as big as a football field is what it looked like.
No, I'll demonstrate. Fine.
No, you can watch. I would, except because you're wearing those sunglasses.
We're very interested in each other. Now, fast forward, we did not.
Noise and white noise?
It just has, but.
And then once you got to the bottom of the stack, there was like, it's like, if you give me 10 minutes.
Are on each other's.
Reasonably attained, but it's probably low.
Yeah, because who needs a biscuit? I mean, I think biscuits are great.
Of alien to us life. I don't like calling them.
When I go to this pool thing at her parents' house, I was kind of going because
there's no tension between.
I want to kill that thing.
It actually sounds
the right conditions, and so I could make a list of the differences.
Well,
extraterrestrial. No, I found out about that before, like because
of celery shoved down their throat by toddlers.
It's not. I mean, I've got everything you need.
Sorry,
you should have brought that up.
It was just a joke.
But it actually not a sponsor.
And then so like you're timing it to be like, okay, I have to warn them about that.
Needless to
60-minute anymore. Like I'm such a because of the way that I had to interact with.
She was 19 years old, man. She was a freaking teenager. She should. I think I'd ask that giraffe at the zoo how happy he is.
That legit. And it's like, why is in every meeting? I guys have been there.
Do everything. It requires.
Well, I could be wrong.
I might have said.
Right. Even this one's from Tamara Jackson said with it.
No one was like, you guys
go into the ocean. I mean, it just goes into the ocean. It's just runoff.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting in there. Check this out. All type of good. It
was like
have them and there.
Do it on green screen.
Once you factor in the neck, and it has nothing to do.
I just kind of piecemeal it together. I need like on the top of buildings. You should probably stop that right now.
I mean, they would get quite a view up where the people are doing like the slow dances by themselves in the park, and it's like at rest stops.
It makes a noise. They don't even have to yell for us. Even with the white noise machine on, involved, if not in
yarn shop. Like I would, everything is great about it, except when I get injured, and when I get really sore. But that's pretty cool. We sold these last summer. They were a huge hit. Get you some.
I vaguely knew that. Son, I'm going to give you this Alligator World brochure and teach you about sex.
See these here. I got 20. No different than LeBron James. I work out.
Get it? I don't. Or he's got another helicopter. I think we talked about this on the show, but our schedule.
I mean, you talked about going to gym. I try to go to. Let's mean every week. I want to get a massage.
My goal being every week.
Yeah, I fell back asleep and I didn't go anywhere.
Did your wife know? She's like,
you told the whole thing. You seemed like a complete douchebag.
A freaking grandfather clock. One time I
hesitate to big up a massage.
And I think, but here's the thing.
It's here. Many times over the course of conversations, you can't.
I'm a super light sleeper.
It's
so
an octagon.
It's pretty small
for you, or are you saying you don't like that? Oh, that's the one you have.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was working. And so I don't think that they are
head-butted.
I don't think that's a tip.
I mean, at the Santa Barbara Zoo, which yeah, I hesitate back in.
At Macaroni Grill, tenderized person that is constantly being massaged go to sleep. It's like a horror movie. Because it's not a constant sound, it's just like that.
Show up at where I'm at
if I'm traveling.
I mean, I wouldn't call that flowing, I'd call that gushing.
Yeah, it's all the way up, man. You would just have more time on the back end. Are you saying that the gym opens at a certain time and then you've got this space?
And then I got the black pair and it's got the mythical.
Sit on this bench. Exactly.
So you're not saying that you wouldn't, if I hadn't done it, you probably would have made all my mistakes.
Correct.
Fascination
fact.
And then to create.
We'll save that
I
for
fed a
another.
giraffe at the zoo and I guess it could, you can cut it with a giraffe bean slug.
I also think it's a little bit of a crutch. So if you don't
right,
need one.
It's kind of like
proposal story because we heard your proposal story. And I don't know. I don't actually have an opinion about it. Or that I care that much about. So
I want to be the guy behind the whip, like boring into the ground. And I said, well, I'm gonna do everything out of order. I'll make a coffee and I'll sit. That would be helpful, you know?
Yeah.
Making mouth noises.
Oh, because we have a white noise machine that
it on. It's just okay.
For you too, if you had a chance to use anything. We
or
let all the animals out and we put aliens in the zoos.
I kind of left it at that.
That's actually debatable.
Physically, I only did it once, and clearly
that was a mistake.
I did it. This is depicted on brochures, but
I knew him and knew that he had.
I forget. We stopped putting the music in at the end of our podcast.
What they're doing to those freaking animals is wrong, and so they're not doing it. I don't do it anymore. I'm going to be answering your questions about anything. Thank you for submitting. Yeah, I was in college and she was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
So it's not a wave pool like at the water park, and it's not a standing wave that you see.
Mishaps.
User errors.
Left turns, user errors.
There was that it increases the time.
It absolutely has to. It doesn't sound like crickets.
And we already have a huge amount of responsibility.
That's very Teresa.
Yeah, definitely. Got like this special night plan where I'm gonna pop the question.
Steakhouse brochures. I would leave those. I'd leave those for the
retiree. Yeah, if there's an elevator that would hold the giraffe. Sure.
There is. I believe that there. I mean, if you Sibilus. As of the record, 20 to 30 minutes is just enough time to get really deep into extra earth, which will absorb dampness. It will also provide
to hoist giraffes on.
That's creepy, man. It's like
massaging people.
Well, yeah, I don't feel like
anyone in the world or the impossible. Basically, if you could do anything, encounter your. But she has it on a horse. Of course, I was driving her around.
Check out these. We're wearing them now. There's tortoiseshell.
I got tortoiseshell.
That we got links in a good splurge on soft. That's just not coming together, is it? I read about the cinematographer who went on the wildlife preserve filming. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to cut it short.
Right. Comments are going to be about how
you're crying under there.
About how Rhett must be hiding something. Oh,
but my splurge would be to hire a personal.
Most important thing.
If we had a chance to become the impossible to touch their exposed parts of their body. I'm Link.
And I'm Rhett. This week at the round table of dim lighting, we're going. I also agree.
I'm just going to leave it at that, except to say that while I was there, I fed a giraffe.
Oh, so you don't want to get?
She showed it to me.
That's beautiful. They got in a fight.
No, I think
I see it on my calendar, and you schedule a lot of massages, and sometimes
go to the gym the next week. I mean, so I hate say. Okay, so yes, so you sat her on the bench. She's blindfolded. She's like, keep the blindfold on. Just oh, there's nothing. Oh, seriously?
Like you go pick out the ring.
4 alarms going on.
Good timing. I mean, sometimes
no, it's not.
I'll be like
us. You and Jesse are still together.
Yeah, we are. Many years later,
hanging by a thread, but
right. And I didn't have to pay for the diamond. It's an heirloom. Her grandmother's name was her.
I don't want to.
Is this why your mom used a brochure to talk to you about sex?
To a black hole of chi?
Mm-hmm.
That's not true.
That it was over. Not
Okay.
very exciting.
Okay.
I say that to let you know that the bench said that they wanted to hear my proposal. Sleeper. So
You could just have a fan. The whirl.
The world is.
I ain't talking about that couch. I went downstairs and I sat,
I would never advise anyone doing this, but
summer towel is a barrier.
the Good Mythical Summer Towel, now in fabric, and my brother beach towel.
Questions. We've also got some stuff that kind of might take us back.
This is your, because sometimes I'm like, you know what?
A hobby to splurge on, and then there's a whole other.
Or anywhere else podcasts are available.
To watch more Ear Biscuits.
Here, but things move very quickly. And so
Give it a try. Give it a whirl.
Earth is incredibly precious. You know, I think.
Rachel? How?
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy though.
I mean, you're
Are you
talking
saying
4
because
hours.
they have great grandmother's name was Jessie, so Jessie was getting Jesse's ring. Everything was falling in.
It's
But-
appropriate.
But I mean, even and Teresa, my sister-in-law. No, he didn't. He already knew I had good.
Park wave pool. Don't
I'm-
lump me in with this guy.
But I'm never trying to be funny. I'm always serious.
I don't care if it's a man or a woman. I just want skills. And media. Please do that. We value that, as well as leaving a review on iTunes.
Like, we're having a great conversation. I don't know.
I've partaked of, don't talk to that person.
Yeah, I want to be the don't talk to that guy. No, but this is not good. She's in high school. It's a nice cocoon spot. And then the alarm's going to go off.
Right,
I don't
right.
want to do that. I should just get up and have said yes. It was wrong, but it worked out again. Plan that comes to mind for me.
Well, they're dangerous, first of all. I mean, I recently.
Mood enhancing.
Oh, absolutely. Got married in May. He got married in December, and gushing about it.
And then they're like, oh, we should invite Rhett and Link.
Let
down
us
here.
know.
That was really the whole ploy. See, I didn't do that.
So you got her on.
Well, you made it sound like it was. I mean, it is a big deal, but I thought you were about to
Right,
say.
but we.
Go to sleep.
In my reshuffling and ranking of the brochures, that I'll get ones that were like
And
a little guilty all of a sudden. This is how it.
her husband strangely sort of just sitting next to the bed.
Data, you can curl it up like a snake.
Okay, well, let's just say there's not an elevator like that. I remember what it was.
Sounds right.
But we had like a.
What if we just record some, like Link? She was in surgery 1 year ago.
Did you have something special for breakfast? I didn't watch Free Willy. I watched stuff that you can get at mythical.store. First thing you can get.
Inland Surf Park.
Inland Surf Park in Austin or outside of Austin. The same routine, it's just a little bit early.
Spoiled brat when it comes
Yeah.
to massages. Stuff to talk about too. But we got some in.
Question would you ask?
Just take him to the zoo books.
He was just like, I'll be pretty limiting.
Give it a whirl. Conversationally.
I don't know what kind of breakfast you would have had.
You made me feel.
No, it's emanating from everywhere. It feels like it's inside your head. Be even better.
Something tells me that the actual experience of being there was not this, by the way.
Well,
Totally different thing.
You cannot drink Tai Chi. She had a grandfather clock, and I was trying to sleep in the living room. Could not go.
Skyscrapers.
Well,
It's
like, as routine oriented as you are, I would. You can't change it up just because you
No.
get up. Let's just go there this summer. What is the name of it?
Inland Surf.
chance to use anything because.
You know what I'm saying?
So you don't want someone to you're doing it. No.
It's been how long has it been? It's been
Grab those, Link.
Oh yeah.
sure. And there's also brown noise. So really, but there's actually millions of other civilizations, and
I feel like I have a little morning face for the video midfield, but bisecting the length from goalpost to goalpost. Click on the playlist on the right.
to watch more of our daily show, Good Mythical Morning, click the playlist on the left. Two Gators. Let me tell you what's actually happening right now.
And then I was like, this type of thing requires like, do you still have it? Go in it for like,
Minutes.
because again, brochures of places that I would most likely never visit planet. You know, boy, that'd be pretty disappointing, wouldn't it? You as an airman.
I have a ceiling fan as well. If I want that, honestly, I think that the question that I would really like to know is I would like to know the she has a fan. that
Is it like? But I think that's an excellent answer. Showing me on your phone. Who was that? Kelly Slater.
I think it's the morning.
It's the morning.
I mean,
boy, I really have a hard time.
You just said is like. Well, I'd like to go home one day and
I don't know what
using.
Gonna get a good foot tall worth of brochures, knotted up, and so I get very intense massages in order.
It's and like throw them at things.
Hadouken! I'm a proper sports massage.
Gary, 25. I'm not going to what frequency sounds.
Okay.
And it's pretty bassy, and it fires the sound up to like.
And if it rains,
hobby guide.
Just give it a shot.com. No, not. It's 5:30. Some days it's no.
Oh.
What we had a special discussion.
I mean, she gets up about the same time.
So there's like
brochure. That's as far as
it was about the brochure, and it was about. I would think about a lot of concentration to not do anything. Oh wow!
Yeah, I didn't even tip anybody.
I have these like big displays of brochures, like local halfway point. What's that called?
Midfield. Midship, where it's just that makes me want to pee every. I was graduating college.
Yeah.
And so, her sunglasses next time.
Don't do that. Well, not shoved.
Some zoos have like giant, but she and
what? Hold on, she didn't say yes.
No, she did. And you think that
LeBron James' deltoid is as big as my head? I mean,
this isn't like you.
I want to get a good story out of you related to
calendar, and so when you have a massage scheduled,
off when you can count both of you snoozing.
No. I think that she understood
in Twitter, so make sure you're following us there.
Out to these places, and then that you need to accompany the experience. But a lot of times, because
that mythical insignia inside
was my dentist growing up. But
usually, if I wake up that much,
attempt to be funny, and so then we have this. Then the locksmith doesn't show up for like 3 hours.
What?
We.
Semi-professional.
That's something no one has done. It's work.
I wanted to use was I want to pilot the boring machine.
Would do. But he would be a lot more low key than me. He'd be like,
you're only saying that because
and it's a perfectly formed. I mean, they can manipulate the wave, but it's a perfect tube. Do you?
I can't engage my brain before I get out of bed.
Do you ever snooze?
Boring. Yeah. Having a morning biscuit, fresh out the oven. Kept all my zoo books. And I still, it's part of your game.
2 snoozes is technically part of the time.
Every morning, not care. Like, I don't care. If I'm getting a massage, anything else can be going on. Instead of me going to them, he unlocked the car.
And he unlocked the car. I mean, Mazda 626, like that. One day visiting these places.
Meaning your back got strained. But
my muscles were confused.
We do not have terrestrial. Yeah. They're probably terrestrial
sources or anything I should be worried about.
The discipline of like moving that slow.
No.
You put it in the green.
I buried it. I did a whole funeral service for it. That it isn't in the right conditions. That's how I actually got to know her. Is your personal masseuse?
Emerald Point or whatever your water park is called.
And it's not a standing wave like on a cruise ship. I can't know that.
I know.
We can only want to know that.
So now I'm still frustrated more often. And why don't you do it?
If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question? Secret massages.
In private.
And I am suspicious of
audio, again, it's just doing stuff.
Yeah, their big old warehouse.
I love it.
White noise went off. I woke up. Like that's how thank God it worked out for us. So she was going she was gonna be a sophomore year. So one of the stops was taking her to that tree on NC State's campus and talking about the
relief pamphlets, and
the crazy person that needs this to sleep. Okay.
Well, weird.
Well,
you think I'm a weird guy or something?
Snooze.
Really, I think because of like her back.
I want to talk to the friggin' giraffe.
Instead of speculating and opinionating, way out of our league.
Blackfish, and I was like, never going back.
And you don't think you're drinking it, but you're drinking it.
It's getting into you.
As a kid. In my road trip,
in all the best ways.
You got to find the right person, somebody that's really good. And then beyond that, I've started. It's not the same every day. Like some days it's 5:20, some days it's same.
They had less rules than Disney, I guarantee you that.
But there were certain points. It's a 1-year anniversary of her wrong.
I mean,
And I apologize.
but you of all people, I think ultimately when I met her and I talked to her and I liked her, chai tea while doing Tai Chi, because I existed. Hobby introducer.
That's not a good name.
They're not an expert in
Puffed up next to a
hey, whatever it
skyscraper?
takes. If that's really
Temple.
signed every pair of glasses.
No,
Actually,
it's an embossed signature.
It's an
but
embossed
that's-
signature. A twin engine.
Well, there's big
Cargo
there's
helicopter.
big elevators in like. That's married.
My wife, Bubbly.
It's made of fabric that will
It's made of fabric.
You're gonna demonstrate it.
I want to be
Plus,
I want
I want to creep a little bit.
to be very clear.
Like where a helicopter was constantly landing.
My mom, our other roommate, got married in the middle of the year. So I was like, well, we all got to get married in the same.
But the keys thing is very
Half an hour early. That's not.
I think.
I've had a bunch of hobbies. We actually did a whole episode about my late. I need a hobby introducer. Somebody should invent that. It'd be an awesome business card too. Reality. About how I'm trying to figure out what to do about a ring. You have to think about
How
the social
horrible.
impact.
Yeah,
Because
that would be bad.
if you become
like we commemorated it.
my family and her family started going to church together. There's no way they can figure it out.
There's just a tremendous amount before the alarm. No matter what time it is.
But you said the next year. Now,
run this whole experience through your mind and realize that the fan was not to help them to sleep. But there are no other that I ever would have burned them. I just don't. I'll probably put them in a box at some point.
over this giant diamond, carat and a half.
Whoa! For a giraffe, man.
Well, which kind of gets into the ethics of zoos. I wear these sunglasses because you out there who are annoyed by the fact that I have zoos is part of the time that I have allotted.
Following my lead. That BAM, you're gonna have to.
No, that's good. No, that's good. You need more BAM.
Easy letdown.
Let's begin it. Okay.
See, and we can put the music in. That's.
And it doesn't have to be limited to what's possible, I guess.
I
LeBron James does not get 4-hour massages. I could text him right now. I got his
bet you
number.
he's got 3 people.
She also is
A
not
combination of.
never gotten this deep. I might use this one. This man. It's not like it's on the other side of the world. But in general, I'm already a splurger, so I probably don't even need to do.
Helicopter? Man, think about that. Like a droopy sleeping
Oh, it's a man. Anyway, I'd pay.
summertime situation.
But you let us know.
Been thinking about that. At the rate that we're working,
Would suddenly become the most.
Maybe it'll-
want to wear them again.
tree. Like Jesse got this for like a birthday present. Like this summer, sometimes when I'm driving, I'll wear. You want to.
Does a giraffe?
If we had a complete knowledge of,
Everybody's covered. It really is. But
there's brown noise, pink noise.
crickets.
I just want someone massaging me while I'm in meetings. Like,
I've done a lot of different things.
and Jesse doesn't care.
No,
The animals. I mean, on that,
It's going to be the bench in front of little thing that breaks
and I just think it's so poetic that.
day. Welcome home. Today you're going to try.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you've already said it in the comments. She was enjoying the conversation and the anticipation. But as I was trying,
That Elon Musk has invented.
a lot of them were supposed to be outside, and I believe the one. But I put it outside. But
Like a yoga mat or a blanket or just grass.
it's supposed to be really. Muscle confusion is the name. Giraffe in the zoo have it better than a giraffe in the wild. Giraffe in the zoo is not going to be attacked.
Began.
So we drive up there from Fuquay to Kid,
If the locksmith shows up,
and he's there.
and I'm just gonna give a warning. We should give him an internet with him with those sunglasses.
And even
on.
though I'm never actually trying to be funny, that's never my motivation. That we have,
with your finger,
totally mood
I
enhancing.
mean, of course, the well that I was in the bottom of.
I think it's very simple.
From you, we posted a prompt.
Wake up to the social
Fiend on
frogs.
undermine your coolness,
No.
the capability to tourist attractions. So my hobby was collecting, and they're over there in Texas. Starting to think that
by the way.
discovery and the spending of the money that is part of it.
Or was it about the bird every time you go in it?
Of course, who knows what they put in that Austin pool? Because
I don't know if it would be disappointing.
if or whatever would also.
He had daughters.
And I would go through them and just look at them.
Were you
and
thinking
I would,
about one? You're telling me that if you get up early, you don't just start. Shouldn't have added that last part, because it almost seemed sincere.
Did the locksmith?
He's like, oh, this is my mama's diamond ring, and she hands me sarcasm. Sarcasm is nothing.
Tastefully photographed.
Yeah, you probably know what she's thinking.
I wouldn't.
Went in there.
We got a gas power fan in there.
Like if
that's
you
danked up because you
know.
No, it has something to do with.
However, I went to buying things for myself.
You could cut it to the other and see a sports deep tissue massage.
On a bench at Macaroni Grill in Cary, North.
A lot of tension between Rhett and I this morning. I just get the masseuse to go for it, but I digress again if you've heard it before. We're fresh out of that. Like I get a 90-minute massage, I'm like, dang it, this is getting too short. I will not get a feeling
because I'm like, oh no, I like her so much. Because that's an extra ticket.
Well, that's on me.
Shouldn't she be older? My mom has always.
She was away for the summer, which is exactly the scenario. Christy was away.
But then it would be disappointing.
I almost feel like I didn't want to know.
It'd be just
thinking much.
Right, pretty happy. The Macaroni Grill in Cary.
Oh yeah.
And in our relationship, and I'm going to blindfold her.
Snoozing is not an option.
No,
it still took, in spite of
when you're in high school, you think these are deep questions. Like, if you could have one superpower, what would you call it? Would you call it automatic wave machine, Austin, Texas? Just search that.
Back fusion, by the way, and she's doing fab.
If like one of the children like just kind of rolls over in the next room and just.
The thing that intrigues me is if you had a
restaurant in Africa where the giraffes will and trying to seem interesting, a right and a left.
A right and a left at the same time. Yeah, that's not true as well.
Didi Hagareta, just a fan paper. You sedate it and you put it into like a harness and you use it.
5:30.
Oh.
Ooh. But I woke up at 5. Notice that your you can repurpose the bracelets if
Then your mom was taking you to the birthday party.
Because I have to talk through the towel.
And then you can get the good.
I may have failed in your eyes, and I may have just annoyed you this whole time.
This is a different gas station on the bench.
I got her. But if there is, sure. More muscles?
Yeah. How big? Think about beside my stack of brochures, I had a stack of.
She goes into a closet and pulls out a freaking plastic bag of a bunch of in college, and I was gonna be
super sweet. Very cute.
Yeah. So
I'm married. I'm sorry, but I got news for you, man. You need to just And
I'm like, I've got this like sinking in between the locations, and then I will walk.
There is alien life. You're like, yes, tell me more.
Going into like a helipad. This is because you can go through some other things, like.
I'd like to know what my dog was thinking. You know what? I'm too tenderized.
Right. That has like 6 upset, and I like upsetting people. It's my hobby. It's one of my main hobbies. Productive for our world. We should not be funny. We should not joke. Everything we say should be a position that exists. But I would hire a hobby.
He didn't do anything.
So
there weren't cupcakes for the tall one and I.
Any circumstances. Would you have, if you didn't have somewhere now you created.
I was like freaking Casey Kasem in the top 40. Like on
a. And everyone was like.
But that's what I thought.
It requires the correct, she came to Los Angeles for the summer between her freshman. My mom everybody wanted to get us together.
Yeah, you should explain the house and maybe give me a massage, give a masseuse.
Do you mean a person that's their only job is to massage you? Speed dial.
Okay, yeah.
And
so this is the big, bet it. I think that's the last experience I will have it as
probably just barbecue sauce. Date while she was in high school because I just drew a line at.
It's like karate motions in slow motion. It looks like your surf engagement. Everything I did to contribute to
ridiculously quickly after that. Because she went away.
Don't forget to click the circular icon
on one knee with the ring, and I said, something incredibly sweet that I don't remember that drove me nuts. I was also in a recliner.
Yeah, that's tough.
Anyway.
And then my hubby extended.
Not knowing where they're at. So, trying to remember all the places I took her, but I took her, if you fat. It's like, Mom! My foot fell asleep! It's supposed to be outside.
Like, every other week, my goal be emulating me a year later to a T, except you learn from my mistake. Oh, some of them were more.
I didn't want to say it, you know.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Inland, and we mentioned them all.
Kelly,
and then
come on, Kelly.
To be honest with you, but I'm working through that.
Fresh out the oven. Sit on the couch and then fall asleep sitting up because I'm not getting ready.
I've had a couple people recommend it.
Part. You just want to get into it.
I don't. One day, you know, the money.
Good.
So
you escaped science assignment.
I'm literal meaning of the word resistance.
Right, the resistance. I just have to.
What? You're telling me shocked me. There's got to be an analogy there somewhere.
Well, would be taking it to the next level. Because yeah, I'm already splurging. I thought that they would come to like.
I bet you I can get you back in. Then I started crying.
Dang it.
And then she hugged me, and she did not immediately say,
it would take to give.
I'm gonna return all the paints you don't open, whatever. Because
well, I'd
cover things that might be happening.
What I'm saying is, if we knew that, it would accelerate our efforts to then. Why do you know? You have one? This is a pricey.
Went out and took her night. It was just like
on a weekly basis. I would, but if you're like this awkward, maybe very frustrating, but then ultimately it would accelerate.
I asked you if you wanted me to keep these on.
I know it's like yes. It's totally
if you don't need so now when I travel, I have a white noise app.
Like what the hole that I dug in.
And
I was married, be punished. Even so I started
them in detail to
I want the complete truth about who gets up before their alarm.
As us, we put them in zoos. We let all the aliens. It wasn't like, yes. It wasn't one of those situations where you know that this is coming and you're both place.
Oh, wow.
So we did not start dating officially until she became a freshman in college.
But before I go to sleep, I convinced myself that show up. Was he a part of this?
I didn't.
Because chores suck. What is one thing that you would like to
That's not bad.
An industrial air conditioner.
The first time we ever really got to know each other in a magician's voice.
Feed it something.
But I don't really want to talk about this. To the ceiling so it kind of spreads it around the room.
Hold on, it fires the sound up so it.
Oh. But here's the proposal. I don't want to drag this out.
And utter truth was the first option.
That I knew she was going to be there. So it's one of these things that's like, from now on, in everything we do, just to upset you.
Working out hard enough.
It's because they've anymore, because people stop going. I'm all for that.
And I know that zoos are. I had a whole stack of them. Probably,
Called Simple Question. Oh, I'm in college, man.
Like I'm got dinky muscles, and it's like.
I don't think, I was graduating because she knew your affinity.
I was really into it. Mom, a fan, and your dad? Or is it a fan, your mom, and your dad?
You burn them?
I can't think.
Smells what they grill.
The grilled macaroni.
And she's like reaching down there and she's crazy. Okay. Like trying to get us together, right? So like my sister-in-law was like trying to get us together.
Imagine how long. I immediately think about that wave pool.
Listen, I was
the peak experience. I would still argue there's bigger people than him.
That's true.
Really 4 times a week.
And you got to fill it with
Well,
something.
there are classes. I'm warning that you may pick up on a different. I'm
and everyone was okay.
Go through the motions, so to speak.
And I think you can like conjure up energy balls. Her to. I mean, listen.
I mean, there are psychics who say they can give that answer. It's emanating from a place of a fan. I would say wave pool.
Can you look up the name of that, Jacob? Like
your
black eye.
I think it's that the story should be that you're hiding. You also have a breeze.
Because then that blows air. I don't want.
Or like if you. I want to have a more hopeful approach, but knowing the truth on Facebook is your love for cats. Down the good mythical more where I do
that. Here's another question though. From Meg.
Orlando looks through them. because I don't take him to the zoo. I do his audio only, but I know that it still impacted your ear experience.
Does he order them in animal preference?
None of my kids are as neurotic as I am. Keen starts with a J, right?
Yeah.
WWJ possible, what would it be? That under has a lot of my massage.
Tinnitus? What do they call it?
Tetanus.
At a SeaWorld. That's wrong, man.
I would dream about frogs crawling on me. I didn't know that you had it.
No, this isn't what I use. Try to sleep at my Aunt Helen's house. Mama Nell's sister. Still alive. She's like 90. In its entirety, and make sure you don't miss an episode. Follow the links in the description to get to. But at her parents' house that my parents were at, zoos get this thing reset, and I've got this awesome diamond ring, so I'm ready. You're young, man. Lots of zoo time. Lots of zoo time left. And so if aliens exist, we don't want them to know we're here because the chances that they
too quickly, you know, because you kind of want to get through it. So, well, my alarm because
lots of things.
Really?
And I think it would probably
our great looking sunglasses that you can purchase at mythical.
The one I don't know all the facts.
It's a big freaking
going the whole time.
Oh wow.
When she gets back, about a week past. Typical experience though.
Well, they said that he was. It's not. Let's go with another question.
She likes it.
She likes it.
I mean, I was going to ask her to marry me when she got back.
Well, I missed the gym, so it's eccentric.
It might be a little
front. I guess I'd like to know.
Hobby bearer. It's a hobby introducer. It's somebody from all the places I took her, but I knew that the final earth.
No, it just means of dirt.
Yeah, but earth. I'm like talking to her at this thing, and then she's like, "Well, I gotta go." Zoo time. That's gonna be a new segment.
I don't know how I feel about zoos. When I was a kid, I had.
Let's clarify.
And I did. I was like,
it was like almost.
Like, oh, this is.
It's almost 20 years old.
This require. I was like, just
in front of the Macaroni Grill at Cary was a very significant location in our relationship. And Kelly Slater,
the professional surfer, is fine. But when you're doing a podcast in like a dimly lit room, it's not yet ended.
I will say
how big LeBron James is, or I felt
threshold was pretty low.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it was all part of it because with some sunglasses
to make contact. Carving had only been in the tree for about a year.
It has more than its share of uncalculated world. It did a few times move ahead. So I was like,
your attention at night, like you had to knock on the door, but you had to like bang on the door, and then
the car. You escaped another.
This isn't
books. They were called misnomer.
Just intense conversation. It was the you had those conversations. Okay, I'm gonna do this quickly because there's pieces to it. The very first knick-knack are an equivalent. Maybe some,
which is the routine. So I kept the routine, and that was my problem.
I think you should have kept the order, and then if you live in a place that doesn't have the right condition, because he was my dentist, and well,
that's your opinion.
And so, speaking of fresh, we got some fresh, good mythical summer. The macaroni,
the garlic bread for a massage, and man, my pain tolerance has gone up so much because like a week.
72 hours is the recommended delay.
But how tall minutes? Or 15 minutes in my brain to like battle, not a sponsor.
I don't know. This is stream water flowing.
I don't like that. I don't like this like, I'm gonna go up behind somebody, like a friend of mine, like I will out.
Or anything about him.
He showed up and, but I'm a little afraid, I mean, we could.
And I had a book, but it didn't tell me, but I like to say manual.
Trips with like my stepdad, Jimmy, and then like my papa, we would take road.
Unexpected?
Well, it is wood. You like.
I get into things and then I buy the things because she was not with me the night before, in fact.
Because that doesn't work for me.
So what happens if you snooze?
So, what?
Hobby trier. In a sophomore year in college. You're gonna think I'm a nut, and I was, because to the muscle mass.
Of course it is. I'm
universe and to send probes out and that kind of thing.
Well beyond that, to when I got back home, I would pour over wood.
But I killed the tree and the hobby ended. And wear it as a helmet every once in a while. But the thing that I'm thinking about getting into,
what did he do?
Remember. Yeah,
tonight
she has a tetanus infection.
I know, God.
Like the person who tests the food for the king. What was that person?
The cupbearer.
The cupbearer. It's not a.
But psychologically, I also consider it a reward.
Are friendly or very small. Because if they're anything like us.
In your emotions, man.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna do like a pool party. Gotta do that, man.
I bet those dude perfect.
But I don't think that that's what I am.
Dynamic of how everybody knew each other, but how you didn't know her.
Well, her dad did it to me, but
easily confused with chai tea are different.
But I don't think that.
That's my weirdest hobby.
She's like she wakes up and then.
Yes.
So I would like to be able if I would like.
You can surf on either side.
He's doing a right fake LeBron James that I follow on Twitter. Bull, how you get a draft to the top of a 40-story skyscraper. Where I look at the clock. I don't have to get up for another 30 minutes. I'm going to go in the conversation. It was,
if you're so inclined.
Last question. Rachel Horton.
For the record.
It was just to keep someone in, ability. But if we're I don't know. I was making up some questions. I'm the guy with the headphones that doesn't speak. But
touch the exposed parts of your body where other people. I think silly. I mean, I could see how that was
a situation here. Do you have an opinion about the?
All I care about is
you can find ways to improve on my story, but comprehensive, definitive truth about aliens, and I just didn't really ask Boward.
Like
I don't know how they got such a loud fan. All I know is when you
of the football
any time of day, but I think traditionally they are enjoyed in the morning. We're just changing it up.
A girl who graduated the same time as me.
And Greg.
Mythical.store, support entertainment.
Get a little hot because of this fabric.
Okay. Before you got. That's why I was like.
Yeah, I like stirring the pot, man.
This safe.
You still have these?
No. You use the white noise setting, not a simulated fan.
Stephen Hawking view, which is stick their heads in the windows while you're eating. Bright in here.
And yeah.
It's funny. Right.
We'll speak at you next week. Being sure that I went to the gym. I actually did, but it was for something else.
It was dual purpose. I do believe that it was to cover things.
Do it professionally. I want to do it once.
Is
our dirt.
Is our earth.
Again, you're so self-centered here.
Social awkwardness with all your interactions. So
you're right.
These are things that got to be done in secret. And
when there's like all these people on floaties and then a horn sounds.
I'm like Joaquin, man. You know what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying? You see what he's demonstrating?
This is the kind of thing that Joaquin...
Like steadfast commitment. For like...
I look pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, you look... Jesse, she's in...
Pointing.
If the answer was... There. And he wasn't. For swinging...
Tai Chi.
The world was on top for a while, but then right behind that you had this place called like...
Me out of the white noise. In fact, the other night... Did the power go off at your house?
I encouraged them and
but I've been thinking about that. So if anybody has any recommendations,
for those watching the video,
because what's going to happen?
I want to use that anything.
We got to go there, man. Let's. Where you're like, with the questioner, this should not actually be done. We're not suggesting it be done. So if you're thinking about it, if you have plans, southern situation where that kind of thing was done.
Did he inspect your team? Imagine how much longer it would take.
Okay. So them to you in this volume. This encyclopedia of Find a Ring. And I'm talking to her grandmother, Gaga, who we talk about in the book of Mythic. We're obviously covered up in some weird fitting. It was like an old setting. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay the $200.
The quality of the brochure did have an impact.
Of course, presentation.
Okay, they'll invite us there. We can make a video out of it.
That was the whole point, I guess. Be like fuzz, like,
Get to some questions, sort of. Then you've earned the right to get a massage and pay probably way too much money.
Let me describe
skills. 2nd, 3rd grade. Because I know that I'd go and re-rank them. Like last week you were at number 4, now you're at number 2.
A little less entertaining for the mass. When you went in there, it was like right now. Like she doesn't know. So she doesn't wait. This is before cell phones, so you couldn't call the guy.
Very finicky.
Unpredictable and
so
cold.
Finicky.
So anyway.
And I was like, go for it.
It has to do with the mix of frequencies. Airs that I call them. Some people call them phases. The bench.
Oh, sure.
But you've been up for a while. I got up early. You got up early. You went. I'm sure they have macaroni bins, or you've got it in a place.
They would. I would never pick up a one. When it comes to getting a sports massage, there's no difference. It will happen, but it probably
the
will
most
not
important
happen.
thing. It would become the.
Mm-hmm.
I would become a tender person.
That's what I want to do. I'm there with the other class before they're done.
But to get up out of your bed and sit on the couch.
Strangest hobby. robotic apparatus that then like travels from one end.
Sick.
I know. I thought you just said there is this thing.
And then like at the end of the conversation, I find out, or I later, I watched freaking Blackfish.
Free will question.
If you can know the absolute
the truth about. I guess that's a good sign. Is like if you continue to work out and you continue to get, if you stop getting sore, it means you're not.
Yeah. There it is. It's one of the ones that comes up because 10 years watching.
Well,
that's not good.
No, that's not good at all.
That's what I'm talking about doing.
You know, Disney travels either with.
That's because that's a realistic goal, and
would be very centering, and but it requires a lot.
Then it just makes it like nothing is happening because they cancel each other. What happens? Okay. Many people.
Something.
You want to know what Jade's that?
And be able to answer that firsthand.
Your muscles.
That's my goal.
Your muscles.
Your skin is drinking it.
You're digesting at least an ounce of that water. A hobby trier would be there. He or she would
6:30. And I'll wake up
and
I want to, according to this, we're celebrating, seems to create a wave that then you.
And I like this girl. I can't date her, but I kind of want to know her because she will be in college.
I said the safest thing, which was I've been to a zoo, but I'm not going to a zoo because they were magazines. They were. I basically.
But terrestrial means of.
What's the app called? Whether I'm going to get up or not, I will not get up.
That's called
slow clapping.
He's got the. I mean, you know. I mean, I posted a picture of the carving of.
No. And
half a day at Joanne's just to be ready for it.
But isn't a big thing for you actually?
It's all a joke.
Flexibility in our schedule with the, with on like a lonesome couch, fell asleep.
Okay, makes even less sense.
I try to get up with my,
but here we are.
Push the limits of human tenderization.
But I do.
Locksmith.
When she takes off the blindfold, I am on one knee. What if
you're not an airman?
Could be bigger.
Picture right down the center line, muscles getting, and then I go and I get pounded out.
I've seen it happen. I've seen a person completely disappear. Could you imagine the saving up I didn't have any money, so I was like, how am I gonna for real, we can't destroy this. Like it's even a bigger deal than I thought it was.
We could easily make plans to go there. I mean, it ain't that hard. It's not anymore. I just felt like that was a safe thing to say.
Follow
were you driving her around and she had a blindfold on?
No, I was super surprised, like, what? I've never even thought about this, but it was like,
you look like a douchebag. I mean, the glasses look great. I think you should buy just literally someone following, and they were called zoo books. And each month I would get one, and I'm talking like young, like first.
But ended in a good way.
At times, if you meet your goal, in the bed, is she already awake?
She gets up, she's early to morning, and here's just YouTube comments. So I'm giving them the opportunity to do that.
And we can learn from it. That was the trifold.
Yeah.
Disney World was
big gator.
Disney World had a lot.
In life is that almost trying to give myself a
sincerely, I mean, you know a complete truth about these civilizations, which probably magazines once.
I mean, and I understand.
Sit down right here. She's starting to think, okay, this feels like a bench. Okay, she's starting to guess where she
smells
is.
Dirt, but it would be sobering. 16 different fan sounds, and then 16 different basic
arm without snoozing. Well, that's what you said you want, and that's why we would just like to know.
Yeah,
instead of speculating, it's not secret.
There's other questions. Into the ethics of zoos.
I don't want to get into the ethics of zoos. I'm just saying.
Some of them are, but I don't think that most major zoos are equivalent to SeaWorld.
I mean, that's a lot of momentum.
There's a rest
would help. Or would it?
That also looks fun. No, this is a freaking
huge pool, like
giant lake.
As big, I think.
No, I want the people who absolutely.
Not like the other thing I was going to say, which was.
If you had to go get there. I think that the most, this is not to use them. I have an
alligator world.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They had a really good brochure.
All people could benefit from white noise. Search. And go for it. You got 1 hour to see if you like this. Let's do the wave machine. Disappointing in terms of like the personal entertainment factor. You gotta watch that. Can't be just going up and.
Or maybe space shields. I mean, they all don't have to be associated with dirt, I guess.
stop was.
Or if you want to get in on this, Rachel
You want me
Deal.
to take my glasses off?
Pull on him.
I don't have his number. It wasn't that pricey.
It's kind of big.
That's how I get things done.
Aliens. I like calling them aliens too.
I'm trying to monitor. Hold on a second.
Breakfast.
We had a spine cake for breakfast.
But so splurging would be.
Hey there, if you ever get bored of watching people sat in silence, maybe you should come and check out the We Know Nothing podcast where we talk too much. If you want to listen to two drunk best friends talking about current events, opinions and embarrassing stories, be sure to check us out.